And joining us to talk a little more about what's involved in that, as well as the politics of spaceflight, is an insider with many years of experience in the field, space engineer Jürgen Herholz. Thanks for joining us here on Tomorrow Today. Now, up until now, the ISS has been a symbol of worldwide cooperation in space research. That's changed a little bit, with this new comet. There's a lot of tension at the moment between Russia and the Western powers. Is the situation, for example, in Ukraine on the ground having an effect up there in space?
I believe so, very strongly, because the Russians are trying to tease the Americans on different areas, why not in the space, but they are keeping to their obligations, and that's important to know.
Okay. Well, actually, you could then really see it from the positive side. You could see that they've agreed to be on the station for the next 9 years, rather than saying that in 2024 they're going to be stopping their cooperation. They're going to be actually even sending up some new modules. Which of those do you think is the most interesting?
Well, I'm not sure if this is a Russian module, but the most interesting one will be a free-flying laboratory, which would be decoupled from the station and would allow to make experimentations under microgravity, which is very interesting because the station itself is not really offering a microgravity environment.
And what kind of technology could come out of those kinds of tests?
Mostly material sciences. That means growth, crystal growth, for instance, which is of very big interest on Earth for developing new materials.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, Roscosmos, the Russian space agency, it says that it wants to decouple its modules in 2024 and making them part of a new Russian national space station. We can see those elements here in this graphic that we've got for you. It's coming up in yellow. Now, it looks like it's going to be actually a fairly significant portion of the International Space Station that they're decoupling. How easy is that going to be? I mean, surely it's not just loosening a couple of screws.
Yeah. First, I think it's not that important if you look at the overall mass and functionality. In fact, the Russian part initially was the only part existing before the rest arrived, the rest 90%. But they have lost in importance because a lot of the, for instance, the attitude control now is taken over by the space station, and the Americans certainly will have a manned transport, let's say, up to 2020. So the two questions related to the Russian part will have less importance.
Well, you just mentioned that. What about the commercial aspects of possibly the Americans having a new transport system up and running? What about commercial companies doing that? Is that an option? Is that a possibility?
I have extreme highly regards of Elon Musk and his SpaceX. I had the chance to meet him in the United States. He is a great guy, and he has a great undertaking with his Falcon, and I'm sure by 2018 he will send people to the space station.
All right. Well, Jürgen Herholz, up at the space station with commercial air flight by 2018. Thanks a lot for joining us here on Tomorrow Today.
Elon Musk himself would love to go to the space station and especially to Mars. That is his objective.
I would too. All right. Thanks for joining us.